Dear students, let us discuss experiment number 13 from C Programming Laboratory. The aim of this experiment is implement structures to read, write and compute average marks and the students scoring above and below the average marks for a class of n students. So, here we have to implement structures to read, write and compute average marks and the students scoring above and below the average marks to be displayed for the class of n students. So, let us discuss the structures first, the basics, and after that we'll see the program. So, what exactly the structures? So, already you might have studied the concept of structures in your theory part, but let us brief the things and we'll go for the program now. So, before we see the structures, already we know what is array. So, arrays allow to define the type of variables that can hold the several data items of the same kind. So, usually we define array as the collection of homogeneous elements. Means when you want to store the number of elements into the same variable, so you can use array, but the condition is all the values should be of the same type. But my next question is, if you want to store the different typed values into the single variable, so how to do this? So for that the solution is structures. Okay. So what is structure? So the structure is going similar to array, but in array you can store only similar kind of elements, but in structure you can store the different kind of elements into the same variable. Okay. So that's what the structure is. So similarly, structure is another user defined data type available in C that allows to combine data items of different kind. So the main difference between array and structure is array allows the collection of data type or collection of elements all of the same kind, whereas in structure you can have the collection of data items of the different kinds also. Okay. So usually structures are used to represent a record. So next we'll see how to declare a structure variable or how to declare a structure. So the syntax is a little bit different compared to the arrays. So here whenever you want to use a structure, first you have to declare a structure. You have to define a structure. So for that the syntax is as follows. So it starts with the keyword struct followed by the name of the structure. It is usually called as a structure tag. For example, in our program we want to store the student information. Okay. So student information means the student information, it may have the roll number of the student, the name of the student and marks scored by the student. So to store the roll number we have taken integer, to store the name we have taken a character array, to store the marks we have taken floating point value. So three different type of information I want to store in the single variable. So that's why here I have to declare a structure. So the name of the structure tag I use as the student because it is holding the student information. Understood? So the structure tag is going to be used to indicate what type of information you are storing in this structure. Okay. So the syntax for declaration or the definition of the structure is struct followed by the structure tag. Okay, opening brace and closing brace. So in the pair of this opening brace and closing brace, you have to specify what are the different members of the structure along with the data type. Okay, so here this is just the declaration of the variables. Like the first in our example, the first data member we have taken is roll number of type integer. So here it will be int roll number. The second data member we have taken as a name of the student. The type of data is character array. So here we take a char of some size name. Okay. Similarly, the third data member we have taken as a floating point value marks. So it is float mark. So in this way, so in our example we have taken only 3 data members. So it depends on how many data members you want. So you have to add all those here. Okay. And after this, at the end of this, here you can specify the structure variable. Remember, here you are going to, here the structure is again going to resemble a particular derived data type. Okay. So here merely so that's what here it's again a user defined data type. Okay. So means whenever you declare a structure, So for that structure you have to declare a variable so that you can make use of that structure in your program. Okay. So again, to declare a structure variable, there are two ways. You might have studied this in your theory part. Okay. So of which the first way is after the closing brace. So here itself you can specify the name of the structure variable which you want to use. For example, here if you declare the variable as yes, so that yes is a structure variable of the structure student. Similarly, here instead of taking a single variable yes, you can take the array of structure variable also if you want to store the number of students record in the same variable. So that's why here it is one or more structure variables. Okay. This is one method. Another method is by using the struct keyword. That is, after this you can use struct the name of the structure and after that the structure variable. So for example, if the structure is student, you can declare, you can have the line as struct student yes or struct student followed by yes of array of some size. So in this way you can declare a structure variable and the structure. So after this, how to access the structure members. So here we saw that whenever you declare a structure, so after that you can declare a structure variable. So let us consider you have declared the structure variable yes. So when you declare the structure variable yes for the student is having roll number, student is having name, student is having marks. So how to access these? So to access these, we have a separate operator. So it is called as member access operator. Okay. So here to access any member of a structure, we use the member access operator, that is dot. Okay. So how to use this? You have to write the structure variable name dot followed by the member name. Okay. So the member access operator is coded as a period between the structure variable name and the structure member that we wish to access. So that's what here. First the structure variable name, this operator dot followed by structure member name. Means here if the structure variable is yes and if you want to access roll number, you have to write yes dot roll number. If you want to access name of structure yes, so you have to write yes dot name. If you want to access marks, you have to write yes dot marks. So in this way you can use this member access operator to access the values that are stored into the structure variable. Okay. So after this brief introduction, now let us move on to the actual program. Okay. So the C program for implementing the structure is here. So the aim of this experiment is implement structures to read, write and compute average marks, and the students scoring above and below average marks are to be displayed for a class of n students. Okay. So as we saw in the introduction, so here first we have to declare a structure, we have to define a structure. Okay, so before that we have to include a header file here, that is has include stdio.h, and after that here we define a structure. So here we have to implement a structure to read, write and compute the average marks of a student. So that's why we give the name of the structure as student. So it is struct this keyword. After that the name of the structure is student, and after this we have opening brace. Okay, and after that we have closing brace. So between this opening brace and closing brace you have to specify so what all type of information will be stored in this structure variable student, or in this structure student what are the different data members. So we have considered 3 data members. Okay, so the first one is roll number of type integer, second one is name of type character array, and third one is marks of type int. If you want you can take the marks as of type float also, no problem. Okay, so let me check whether we have taken the marks as integer or float. Okay, so we have taken integer only. So if you want you can take the marks as of type float. Okay, so here, so this is what the difference. So in array you can store only the similar type of values, but here in structure you can store the different type of values. You can see the first value is integer, second one is character array, third one is integer. So all these 3 values will be stored into a single variable of type struct student. Okay, so after this here we have declared a structure variable yes, but here we have declared an array of structure variable, that is yes of 10, so that we can store 10 students information. Okay, means here s of 10 means it's an array. So here if I write s of 0, that represents first student information, s of 1 indicates second student information, s of 2 indicates third student information, and so on up to s of 9. So if you have only one student, no need to use this array. You can just write s of just yes. So in that case, if you write s of roll number, s dot roll number, it will give you that student's roll number. S dot name will give you that student's name. S dot marks will give you that student's marks. But here you have to consider for the n number of students. So that's why we have to take the array of the structure variable plus. Okay. So by using this array of structure variable s of 10, you can store up to 10 students information. If you want to store more than 10 students information, you have to just change the size from 10 to 20, 30, whatever size you want. Okay. So this is the structure definition and declaration of a structure variable. So after that we have written a main function here. So void main. So after this here we have declared again some variables. So char name of size 20. So int I n x equal to 0, float sum equal to 0, and average equal to 0. That is AVG. So first I have to read the number of students. So printf, this message is displayed, enter the number of students. So whenever this message is displayed, the user is going to enter the value of number of students. How many students information I have to read. Okay. So that value we read in the variable n by using this scanf %d ampersand n. Okay. So once we know how many students information I have to read, so now I have to read those many students information. So here we have considered each student's roll number, name, and marks. So here I have to read n number of students roll number, n number of students name, n number of students marks. So that's why I use a for loop here. So for I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, means this for loop will be executed how many times? N number of times. That's starting from the value of I 0 to n minus 1. Okay. So here what I will do is each time I will display this message and I will read the corresponding values. Okay. So what message I will display here? So printf enter the roll number, comma, name, and marks of student colon %d. Okay. So this %d is replaced with the value I plus 1. Okay. So the first value of I is 0. So I plus 1 means 0 plus 1, it is 1. Okay. So initially what message it will display? It will display the message as enter the roll number, comma, name, and marks of student, that is I plus 1. 0 plus 1 is 1, means enter the roll number, comma, name, and marks of student 1, means the first student information I want to read. Okay. So the user will enter the roll number, name, and marks of first student. So that I have to read into the corresponding structure variable. So for that I use this scanf here. So scanf, the roll number is of type integer, so it is %d. Name is of type character array, that is string, so it is %s. After that marks is of type integer, it is %t. So I want to read integer, string, and integer. Okay. So in which variables these are to be stored? So the first, here we have used the array of structure variable, that is s of 10. Okay. So the first student information is stored in s of 0. Second student information is stored in s of 1. Third student information is stored in s of 2, and so on. Okay. So that's why here I equal to 0 means this is for the first student. So it is ampersand s of I. S of I means here s of 0 for the first student. Okay. So it is like writing s of 0 dot roll number, s of 0 dot name, s of 0 dot marks. Okay. So in general we have used the iteration variable I here. So the value of I indicates which student's information I am reading here. Okay. So for the first student I will be 0. So it is like ampersand s of 0 dot roll number, s of 0 dot name, ampersand s of 0 dot marks. Okay. So after this we'll execute this one. Okay. So sum equal to sum plus s of I dot marks, because after reading the values parallelly, I want to calculate the sum of all the marks. Okay, so sum is initially equal to 0. So sum equal to sum, the initial value is 0 plus s of I dot marks. S of I is 0 here. So s of 0 dot marks. So whatever the value that I have read here, the first student's marks. So that first student's marks is added to the variable sum here. Okay. So after this we have end of for loop. End of for loop means again it will come back here. So I will be incremented by 1. I was initially 0. Now I is incremented by 1. I becomes 1. Okay. So when I is incremented, it will compare this condition again. Okay. So whether I is less than n. So I don't know value. What is the value of n? So if I am considering 3 students, the value of n will be 3. Okay. So here I was 0. Now I has become 1. So 1 less than 3. The condition is true. So again it will start executing this one. So once again it will display this message, that is enter the roll number, comma, name and marks of student %d. So previously I was 0. Now I has incremented by 1. I is 1 now. So it is 1 plus 1, that is 2. So now I have to read the details of second student. So that's why it will display the message as enter the roll number, name and marks of student 2. Now I have to read, I have to enter second student information. Okay. So that is read in which variable? So again the same scanf is used. So instead of using s of 0, now I is incremented by 1. So it is read in s of 1. So it is ampersand s of 1 dot roll number, s of 1 dot name, ampersand s of 1 dot marks, because this is for the second student. Okay. So after this again, once again this line is executed. So this time sum equal to sum plus again s of I dot marks. Okay. So at the beginning sum was 0, but when I was equal to 0, so the first student's information is already assigned to this variable sum. So this will be equal to the sum holds the first student information plus this time it is s of 1 dot marks, the second student's marks. So first student marks plus second student marks, this sum is stored in this variable sum. Okay. So again this is the end of for loop. Again it will go back here. I is incremented by 1. Now I becomes 2. Again this condition is tested. 2 less than 3. Again the condition is true. Once again these lines are executed. Okay. So in this way this for loop is repeated for all the values of n, means for all the students. So individually you are going to read the values for every student. Every student's roll number, name and marks you are reading in the variable s of I. Okay. So after this, at the end of this particular for loop, so this sum variable holds the sum of all the marks. Okay. So here we have to calculate the average. So to calculate the average, the formula is sum divided by count. Okay. So here we have taken a variable avg which is initialized to 0 to calculate average marks here. So here average equal to sum divided by n. What is sum? Sum is the sum of all the marks and n is the number of students. So it is average equal to sum divided by n will give you the average marks. Okay. So once we calculate the average marks, we will just display that on the screen. So for that we have this printf. So printf average marks equal to %f. So it is present in the variable avg. Okay. So after this we have to display, as per the statement, we have to compute the average marks and we have to display the students scoring above and below the average marks. Okay. So once we find the average marks, so we have to display the students who have scored below average marks and who have scored above average marks. Okay. So first we will display the students who have scored below average marks. So printf below average students, this heading is displayed. Okay. So below this I have to display the students information. Okay. So for that first I will display this heading. So first I will display the roll number, after that I will display name, and after that I will display marks. Okay. So /n means on the next line it will be displayed roll number as it is the heading is displayed. So after this I have to give some space. So for that I use the /t here. /t means it is tab. It is going to give 6 empty spaces. Okay. So it is like typing 6 spaces. So after that this name will be displayed as it is, and after this again /t means again 6 spaces are displayed, and after that it will display marks. Okay, after that /n means the output will be displayed on the next line. Okay, so here again we have to display all the students information. So that's why here we have n number of students. So that's why whatever the for loop we have used to read the n students information, the same is used to display the n students information also. Okay, so the same for loop, that is for I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Okay, so by using this printf I can display the students information, but here we have to display the students information we have scored below average marks. So that's why whenever you display the record you have to check this condition. Okay, so what is the condition? If s of I dot marks is less than average marks. Okay, so here I is equal to 0 initially. I equal to 0 means it is s of 0. S of 0 means first student. Okay, so first we'll check whether s of 0 dot marks means the first student marks is less than average. If this condition is true, then only this printf is executed. If this condition is false, this printf will not be executed. Similarly, just it will go back to the for loop and it will increment the I value by 1. Understood? Means here, if the first student's marks is less than average, then only that student's information will be displayed. If this condition is false, means if that student's marks is not less than average, it will not display that student's information, because I have to display only below average student's information. So what it will do, it will simply go back to this for loop. It will increment the I value by 1, so that will consider the second student. Okay, so when I is equal to 1, so it will check whether s of 1 dot marks is less than average, means whether the second student's marks is less than the average marks. If this condition is true, it will display that student's information. If this condition is also false, it will not display here. Understood? So in this way, through this for loop and if statement, we can display only those students information who have scored the below average marks. Okay, so regarding this printf, I think already you have understood. Okay, printf, so what all information I have to display? I have to display n number of information. So that's why whenever you start displaying the information, we display it on the next line. So that's why at the beginning only we have used /n here. Okay, so first we have to display roll number, which is of type integer. So that's why %t. Okay, so after that I have to leave some space. So that's why I have to use /t 2 times, so that it will give some space between the roll number and name. Okay, so after that we have %s, because the second element is name, and after that /t to give some space, and after that to display marks we have %t. Okay, so for first %d value present in s of I dot roll number, second %s present in s of I dot name, and third value is present in s of I dot marks. Okay, so in this way, through this particular statement, you can display the details of below average students. Similarly, after displaying the below average students information, we have to display the above average students information also. Okay, so here also we use the same statements, but here instead of displaying the values that are less than average, we will display the values that are greater than or equal to average. Okay, the same lines are there. Here first we display the message as above average students. The heading is displayed. Below this we have to display the column headings, that is printf, roll number, name, marks. Okay, below that again the same for loop, that is for I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Okay, each time we have to check the condition if s of I dot marks is greater than or equal to average. Okay, if this condition is true, then only the corresponding students information is displayed. Okay, so again through this for loop and if statement, you can display the students information we have scored above average marks. Okay, so in this way you can write a program to implement the structures to read, write and compute the average marks of n number of students, and you can display the students who have scored above and below the average marks. Okay, so hope you have understood all the lines, and still if you have any doubts or confusion, or if you have not understood anything from this particular program, please feel free to discuss with me so that you can understand the doubted part also. Okay, so after this we'll run this particular program now. So first we have to compile this, so we don't have any errors here. So now let us run this program. So when you run this program, so we'll get the output screen like this. So here initially it is asking enter the number of students. So I will consider 3 students information here. So I will enter the value 3. Okay, means I have to enter now 3 students information. So see what message it is displaying. Enter the roll number, name and marks of student 1. So first student roll number, name and marks I have to enter. Okay, so I will consider roll number as 1. What name shall I take? So I will take the name as Akash. Okay, after that marks. How many marks shall I take? I will take the marks as 25. Okay, so the first student's information is his roll number is 1, his name is Akash and his marks are 25. Okay, so after this I will consider, when I hit enter, it is asking second student information. Okay, enter the roll number, name and marks of student 2. So I will consider, let us consider the roll number of second student is 2, name of the second student is let us consider Ajay. Okay, and let us consider the marks of second student as 15. Okay, so after I hit enter, it is asking the third student information now, that is enter the roll number, name and marks of student 3. So let us consider the roll number of third student is 3, name of the third student. Okay, so let us consider one girl name. I will take at Geeta because we have to consider equally. So let us consider the marks of this third student as how much? I will consider as 24. Let us consider a fair student here. Okay, so the number of students is 3 and I have entered 3 students information. So when I hit enter, see what all things it has done. Okay, so I have entered first, second and third student information. So it will calculate the average marks. So what is the average marks? So it is 25 plus 15 plus 24 divided by 3. It comes out to be 21.33334. Okay, so after this it has displayed the below average students. So the heading is below average students. So the first we display roll number, name and marks. So below average students, what is the average value here? Average value is 21.333. So it should display only those students who have scored below this 21.333. Okay, so as per the information we have entered, the first student have scored 25. This is not less than 21. Okay, second one is 15. This is less than 21. So that's why it has displayed the second one, that is roll number 2, name is Ajay and marks is 15, because this is less than the average. So this is below average students. Okay, so similarly third one, that is 24, this is not less than 21, so that's why it is not displayed. So after this it will display above average students information. Okay, so for this above average students information also we have the column headings as roll number, name and marks. Okay, so above average means above 21 who have scored, so only those we have to display. So what about first student? He has scored 25, which is greater than 21, so that's why the first student information is displayed here, that is roll number 1, Akash 25. Okay, what about second student? Second student have scored 15, which is not above 21, which is already displayed in the below average student, so that's why we cannot display that as a above average student. Okay, so after this the next one is the third student, the Geeta. She have scored 24, which is above average, that is 21, so that's why we have to display this third also, that is 3 Geeta 24. Okay, hope you have understood this particular output also. Okay, so in this way we can write a C program to implement the concept of structures to deal with the n number of students information. Okay, thank you.